Well, hey guys, welcome to Certainty for Uncertain Times. My name is Lauren, and the entire channel and the goal behind this channel, the mission, is to help you navigate through the chaos, the clown world, and the dumpster fire that we all find ourselves living in these days. But we do it through the lens of the Bible and also while connecting the most crucial dots to Bible prophecy because it is happening in and around you, whether you believe it or not. So, what I want to say to you today is if you are looking for a place where you can dive a whole lot deeper into the Bible's prophetic puzzle pieces, then guess what? You are so in the right place. And I'm going to ask that you would subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, maybe give this video a share, do all the things. It'll help you stay up to date on what's going on in this channel. And sharing is caring. Let's just be honest. So I've had a little bit of an energy drink today. So I'd like to say I'm sorry. I'm in rare form. I might talk faster today. I really apologize. And my screens are very big behind me. So, oh my goodness, there's so much going on today. But before we dive in, I do have a couple of quick reminders and announcements for you guys. Check that description box. All the goods are down there. I don't think I'll have like resource-wise stuff today for you guys. I don't think I have anything because it's mainly video that you're going to see. So if there's anything like that needs to be linked, I'll do it after the show. Links to the C4UT merch. I just put out a new shirt yesterday. It is so cool. If you haven't seen it, you got to go check out the merch store. It's down in the description box. But it says, aliens didn't take us, Jesus did. You guys know it's like my shirt. I have like three shirts of those from other people. But this one is different because it has our animals in it. 2 cats and a dog. It's mainly for all my cat people out there. I got a lot of cat people on this channel, and I love you guys because I feel like I found my people. A lot of times people don't like cats in this space. I don't know what it is. But anyway, that's for you guys. Check it out. That really was inspired through the video that I did with Tracy Labens where we talked about our pets are heaven bound. Our pets heaven bound. I don't know, something like that. But anyway, there's a video all about that and why we believe our pets are going up in the rapture. Nora's going. All right. So there's that. And then let's see here. What else do I have for you guys? Oh, my newsletter. Big thing. If you guys want to stay up to date on what's going on the channel, all the things, I send out all kinds of stuff in my newsletter. Be sure to join that. I literally communicate with everybody via email a lot throughout the week. So do that. And then, of course, if you guys are interested in helping to support this channel, first of all, thank you for everyone who does. You guys have made just a huge impact and difference in everything that I'm doing in the growth. And honestly, just a lot of it to even help Lance and I make it through a very hard time in our lives. So we appreciate all of you guys. There's links down below where you can do that just to keep us moving in the right direction. And then next Friday, Pastor Gary is back. I know I mentioned it last week, but I want to make sure y'all tune in. We are going to be talking about Samhain. It looks like Sam Hain. It said Samhain, but that is going to be on Halloween next week. Trust me, you do not want to miss this. Pastor Gary is a wealth of knowledge, and we will be having that big conversation next week. And then we are going to have a little bit of a Q&A today. So throw those questions in the chat. I am a bit on a time crunch today. So if I can't get to every question, I'll do my best. I got a lot to do today, and I also have to be somewhere. It's a lot. It's a lot of things, hence the energy drink. So, all right. So let's get into today's prophecy pulse where we're going to look at a few headlines. I'm going to give you guys some analysis on where I think this is all headed, where it's all going. There's really no shortage of news events or things to talk about on any given day. So for me, I just kind of choose the things that I think, that really caught my attention. So let's get started. Let me check the chat and make sure I can hear, or everyone can hear me. You can? Okay, good. All right. Okay. We are good to go. I think I've solved all my tech issues, you guys. It was more that I wasn't logged into certain things before I went live today. And if I got to show you something on Instagram or I got to be logged in to do that. So anyway, okay. So let's get started with what we're going to be talking about for today. And the first thing on my list of things was the fact that there's supposed peace now. Have you guys felt it? Is peace in the air for everybody? There's all kinds of peace underway in the Middle East. Now, I have it written in my outline. Just kidding. It's a pseudo peace, which is where I really believe it is. I totally think it's a false peace. But I did want to check out a couple of details from an article that I pulled from Joe over at Prophecy Recon. If you guys don't follow Joe, he's got a great we'll call it a place for news. Like a lot of you guys ask, well, Lauren, where do you get your news? Well, a lot of times it's through people like Joe and other, good channels, Telegram channels, and then YouTube channels, things like that. But anyway, let me hit the share button. Okay. All right. Oh, and Keegan's taking questions. I think she's going to tell you guys how to submit them. She's real good about that in the comments. Thank you. Thank you, Keegan. I love you so much. You keep me going, girl. Okay. So on the stream, here we go. You guys should be able to see this. So it says, false peace, don't lay down your sword just yet. Ooh, scrolling a little too fast. There we go. So here we go. The world celebrated as President Trump stood before the Knesset proclaiming peace in the Middle East and declaring the end of an age of terror. With hostages freed and sirens silent. By the way, I don't think all those hostages have been returned. Somebody correct me in the comments or in this chat. I feel like that's the case, that only some of them have been returned. That's kind of a big, there's a big like hinge right now on that. I digress. With hostages freed and sirens silent, global leaders rejoiced in what they believed marked a turning point in history. Yet, while the world applauds the promise of calm, the spiritual reality beneath the surface tells a different story. The ceasefire may have paused the visible conflict, but it cannot rewrite the theological and ideological roots of jihad that have endured for centuries. Boy, ain't that the truth. To believe that mankind can legislate or negotiate away spiritual darkness is to forget that humanity's wars are not merely political, they are deeply spiritual. Pause right there. What are we always talking about all the time on this channel? Everybody is so consumed in the horizontal, the junk that people put out there, the pundits, the news, Fox News, CNN, all of them, whatever they are. I don't even watch them. I don't even know they're like organizations anymore. I don't watch them all, but they all say the same thing. Like you can line them all up together. They all have the same scripting. But the point is they're focused on the horizontal and they're not focusing on the vertical, which is what we talk about all the time on this channel. And that there is a cosmic battle going on and it's ramping up. It's coming to a close, a dramatic close, I might add. So Joe, that was so well worded. So onward, Trump's achievement may signal a momentary lull in global tension, but prophetic discernment reminds us that what false peace often precedes great turmoil. I firmly believe that's where we're at, you guys. The scriptures warn of a time when people will declare what? Peace and safety, only for sudden destruction to follow. 1 Thess 5:3. The world's leaders envision a new age. A new age of faith and hope. Yet faith divorced from truth becomes a counterfeit, an empty utopia built on compromise. And boy, do they want a utopia. The militant ideologies that fuel terror cannot be bargained out of existence. They are spiritual forces that only Christ himself will ultimately conquer. As believers, we should rejoice in the return of the captives, absolutely. But we cannot mistake a fragile truce for the dawn of lasting peace. The prophet Joel warns that before true peace comes, swords will be drawn and the nations will gather for battle. Joel 3:9-10. The stage is being set for the illusion of global harmony, a peace born of political maneuvering, not divine reconciliation. So don't beat your swords into plowshares just yet. Does anyone think of the United Nations every time we hear that? Because I sure do. The world celebration may echo with promises of unity, but heaven's watchmen know the final conflict is still ahead. Joe, what a well-worded article. And I like that it was short and concise, Joe. That was really, really good. So I wanted to read that for you guys. That's kind of where I'm sitting with all of this stuff in regards to this week's piece. I also shared on my Telegram and my Instagram stories this week that Trump has been out saying, he's like declaring really that World War III is not going to come, which I just found really interesting to me. I'm like, I don't think he reads the Bible, but what do I know? I was going to show this to you guys if my computer will let me. I'm signed in. Hold on, guys. Oh, open in web. Okay. Wow, there it is. Let's see if it'll let me play it. Hold on. Let me see here. Let's see. Well, guys, I don't know that it will. Oh, hold on. Oh, it will. Okay, just a sec. Share. There we go. Okay, let me see if it'll play. Hold on. Hey, there we go.
Going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Now you can see
There's
it.
a time that you would have thought it could have, but it's not going to happen. There won't be World War III, hopefully at all, but it's.
Let's try that again here.
That the Middle East.
It would help if I hit show on the stream. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Don't you guys love live video? You get to see all my mistakes just right out here for you on display. Here we go. One more time.
We're going to make sure that the Middle East is going to be a safe and secure place. It's a very important place in the world, means so much. There were so many people who said the Middle East, and this has been going for many, many decades. I've read it many times that World War III will begin in the Middle East. It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. There was a time that you would have thought it could have, but it's not going to happen. There won't be World War III, hopefully at all, but it's not going to start in the Middle East. We're not going to have a World War III if we're smart. There'll never be a World War III. Our work begins right here and right now we're going to make sure that the Middle East is going to be a safe and secure place. It's a very important place.
Okay, I think it was playing multiple times. Okay, so you guys got the point, right? Somebody said in the comments, Janet, here she is. He didn't read the Bible. Girl, no, he didn't. He sure did not. He's made a lot of statements recently that are just very troubling, but I digress. You guys don't need me to rant about that. I do enough, right? Okay, and then one final reel. I have to show you guys this reel. Hopefully Instagram will play it for me. I saw that this reel this week, and I thought, boy, that sums it up really well. So let me open that one. Y'all give me a second here. Let me hit pause. Okay. Show on stream. You guys doing okay in the chat? Oh, man. Okay. Share. Wrong thing. Good night, y'all. I got to get better at this on actual live streams. Okay, here we go. Show on stream. There we go. Okay, y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? Bum, 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 bum. Here we go. Is there sound? Oh. Look at this imagery.
Turning on Israel. Headlines dripping with venom. Nations drunk on deception. They think they're chasing peace, but it's a setup, man. The great deception straight out of the Bible. The Antichrist will rise to applause. My friends, today, the world stands united. Peace is no longer a dream. It is our choice. Trust me, and I will guide us through the fight.
Woo! Isn't that something, y'all? Holy smokes. That whole reel was just like, whoa, whoever did that, great job. Looked like it was a lot of AI. Really cool looking, though, of putting that all together. I think that's exactly what it's going to look like. So anyway, moving onward, where are we at? Oh, the digital ID. Guys, I know I feel like I've been hammering this subject for the last couple of weeks, but here's the reality. So we talked a whole lot about the digital ID. Things are just absolutely going ham over in the UK. My heart breaks for y'all. I even am in a Telegram channel where one of the gals mentioned that Canada's on their way towards a UK dystopian world as well. You guys are just, my heart breaks for you guys. Here's the thing. I don't think it's far from us. I really do not. I think Americans are naive to think that like they can just rise up and we can just say, we're just going to say no. Yeah. How did that work for y'all in 2020? I mean, it worked somewhat, but it's not going to go that easy this time. And I think based on what they're already doing, so what is it? 21 countries have signed on to this digital ID. The UK, they push this through. In my terminology, I like to use the word ramrodding. My dad used to say that all the time growing up, but they ramrodded this through, even though I think Pastor Gary said something to the effect of like 95% of the people, 93% of the people, I don't know, it was a bit 90 something percent of the people in the UK want nothing to do with this. Like they can't even find, if it is 97%, they cannot find the 3% who want this, probably the globalist elite. I digress. But the point is they pushed it through no matter what. So doesn't matter what the citizens want. Doesn't matter who voted for. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how many people signed the petition. I think there was a massive petition that was signed in the UK. It did not matter. So my point is that things are getting real. Like it's just like that's the reality. Things are getting real. So we talked about it a lot, but I wanted to show you guys this video. I shared this on my Instagram stories. It was last week. It was late in the week, midweek, something like that. And at the time, there was this account that I saw it from, and I followed it, and I went ahead and posted it in my story. And then a couple days later, an account I follow, Loved Out Motive, girl, thank you for doing this. But she actually screen recorded the whole thing, and she bleeped out the language because the language was atrocious. But I shared it on my Instagram because I was like, you know what? You're just going to have to ignore the F-bombs. This is really important. But thankfully to her, you guys do not have to listen to that today, but I do want to show you this video because it is really cringy. And I think it is a good sum of kind of like where things are going. So let me close out. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Close out my screens. Put on the right screen. Y'all still doing okay in the chat? Okay, you are. You look like you are. If you're not, what can I do about it? Nothing. Okay. Here we go. Insta. Okay, one more time here. Y'all see it? The volume is on. Here we go. So read the text here, right? Once cash disappears, control shifts entirely to those who run the coming beast system. All right. Y'all better buckle up or sit down. One of the two if you haven't yet for this. Here we go.
Balances have been updated. Time to start a productive day. Final notice, your account balance is below 500. You need 50 credits by the end of the day to avoid automatic eviction. If you have missed work due to illness, you must provide a doctor's note to reclaim your credits.
Any extra credits? Please.
Tensions are
Okay, so I have to pause it right there because when I saw that, I immediately thought of the movie. I've talked about this before. Have y'all ever seen the movie In Time with Justin Timberlake and what's the other girl in it? She's got like doe eyes. She's beautiful. Oh crap, I can't think of her name. But anyway, she's from Mean Girls. She played Karen in Mean Girls. I think it was her. Anyway, when I saw those people come up to the car, it reminded me of how in that movie they had a clock that was wear on their wrist. I can't remember if it was right or left, to be honest with you. I'd have to watch the movie again. Super good movie, totally dystopian, but it is a good movie. And I think there's probably some like nods to what's coming. But anyway, they would be trying to get time from each other because once their time ran out, they just died, no matter where they were. In the middle of the street, at home cooking dinner, they just died. So that part in this reminded me of the scenes where they would like touch wrists and then they would spin like this and then their time would be given to the other person. That's what it reminded me of. So anyway, onward.
Hi today with more people planning to join the Citizens Against Digital Control protest. Remember, the government knows who you are at all times. Resisting is not worth the consequences. All of their newest social credit systems are designed to keep you and your families safe and efficient.
Authorities seized a record balance of an individual's credits, citing excessive hoarding.
Traffic violation detected. 7 miles per hour over the limit. 70.
Okay, so 7 miles per hour over the speed limit. I'd be in trouble every day if we were living in the system. So I'm just saying. And yes, thank you, Keegan. It was Amanda Seyfried. Thank you.
5 credits have been automatically deducted.
You have to be kidding me.
Yep, you got the flu. Your blood work shows a significant iron deficiency. I recommend incorporating more red meat into your diet.
Now, where's she going to get meat, right? Because, meat is not going to be something that's going to be easily accessible. Immediately when I saw that, I was like, dude, whoever made this, like, I don't know if they're a believer or not, the original poster of this, but I'm going, this is Bible 101. This is like End Times 101 here. So let's keep going.
Dr. Jones, your taxes were not filed and have been automatically deducted with late fees. Your medical license has been revoked.
Oh, hell nah. I filed an extension.
Purchase denied. Monthly red meat allowance exceeded. Try mealworms instead.
Mealworms.
Can you guys please let me through?
Attention. Unauthorized political gathering detected. Participants' access to financial services has been suspended.
Notice the color too, by the way, guys. If you guys see that she's in all gray, her car's gray, like there's no color. There's so much about that stuck out to me too. A couple years ago when Lance and I were still living in Florida, I think this was right after the COVID nightmare of 2020, but we had went into H&M and we had noticed that like everything was just weird. Like all the colors that, it was just like white, gray, and everything was androgynous. It was like you didn't know what was male or female. That is part of that system too. And that's why, again, like the colors are real drab. There's no just light. There's no light at all, no color. So anyway, thought I would point that out too.
Due to the speeding infraction, your car will be immobilized for 3 days.
You take your surveillance policies and rot in hell!
You've earned 50 bonus credits for reporting your neighbor's hateful misconduct.
That guy.
This content exceeds your current social credit tier. May we suggest citizen responsibility? Sarah, open the door. You have been identified by the authorities. Don't resist. Don't resist. Don't resist.
Right? I mean, how crazy is that, you guys? I mean, unbelievable. So I really thought whoever put that video together, thank you for doing that. It was just an excellent video to show just what a nightmare all of this is. Now, I think if I remember right, when I originally saw it, it was more of a patriot type account to like just say stand up and and fight against the ID and the digital ID. And again, we need to fight as long as we can, but ultimately these systems are coming whether we like it or not. What I want to point out about that video is like y'all who are, just thinking this whole Jesus thing is a joke, like this is what you're in for. Like this is where the world is going. This is what your life is going to look like. So anyway, moving onward. Okay, so digital IDs. Oh, I do have one more for you guys today, a digital ID story, and then we're going to move into some Days of Noah stuff. Okay, y'all ready? So this one came from one of the members of the Certainty Remnant Underground, my private membership that I have. And if you want to know more about that, you can, again, links are all down below. So this is what she said. This is from Sam. Sam, thank you so much for this. She said, "No more pennies. Good afternoon. I just left work and found out we are no longer going to be exchanging pennies. I work for a major retailer and thought this was a pretty major development. I know in Denmark and some other European countries, this is already a thing, but thought everyone might want to know. Everybody have a blessed evening." So I saw that and I commented on it. And I said, "Hey, this is interesting for sure. I did hear a while back they weren't making pennies anymore. So I wonder if that's in relation to the change. What retailer do you work for? And how are y'all going to make change for people if pennies are required?" So she responded back and she said that she works at World Market. The manager told us that we're just not going to give the change back and the registers were just going to be consistently in a short. So if the change is $3.88, we're going to give back $3.85. She says it's surprising because it is surprising me because all of our equipment is old. And I mean, our registers are like from 1997. This was kind of giving me a little hope inside because we still use a DOS operating system in the back, but knowing they are moving forward with this is really disappointing. And then, so then she mentioned that there was mention of someone's husband traveling to Denmark and Finland and other places in Europe, and they started doing this a few years ago. And then someone else had commented on the thread and said she visited Biltmore House in Asheville 3 years ago, and they did not accept cash in their stores. So then this morning, and it must be because my dang phone is listening to everything, but I had an article pop up on, and I should have screenshot it so I could show it to you guys, but that Wisconsin has a store on the Quick Trip, not the same Quick Trip if you're in like Missouri. Quick Trip here is QUIK, but the Quick Trip they were referring to was QWIK. There was a notice that they're not going to be accepting pennies anymore, and it showed how they were going to do the conversions. So I was like, holy smokes. Like, so again, I think this has to do with the fact that, again, they're not making pennies anymore. And I read the comments, like some people are so delusioned in the comments of just like, yay, we can finally go to the digital system. And then there were other people in the comments who were going, do y'all realize where this is going? So it was just a myriad and mixture of positions in the comments. I, of course, had to read through some of it this morning. But the bottom line is that this is a stepping stone, and while it may be small because they're pennies, I have a feeling once this system really starts to catch wave, it's going to go really fast. But it is a stepping stone to a cashless society. So, and then Keegan, let me put that on the screen. She said, yes, exactly, Lauren. Like I said above, Quick Trip. I'm from Wisconsin. I think that, Keegan, I think that picture that I saw on that article this morning on Facebook was from somebody in Wisconsin, now that you say that. So at any rate, yeah, guys, this is just where it's all headed. This is just another stepping stone to a cashless society. And they're going to tell you all kinds of things, what it's good for. Like Pastor Gary has been talking about over with the UK. They're telling it's, to prevent illegal immigrants. It's not. This is the Hegelian dialectic in play. Americans over here, because they're very caught up in the human trafficking narrative, and I think that's a good thing. We need to expose that. They're looking at it like as if we don't have cash anymore, they won't be able to traffic children, and they won't be able to X, Y, and Z. Guys, I got news for you. That's still going to happen. Like they do these things in a whole different other system. So anyway, I digress. Need to make sure I be careful there. Otherwise we'll have a flag on the play here. So let's move onward. So the days of Noah. This is the last subject that I wanted to cover today. It is a little crazy. And you guys may have even heard about it last week if you were paying attention to, well, I should say all of you guys who are watching it on the chat especially are here because you are paying attention all the time. But there was an article that came out last week, and this one just was like mind-blowing, that alien DNA is being found in some human bodies. Wild, right? So I went to the article and decided to give it an old look-see, read it. It was from the New York Post. So let me grab that one. Okay. I probably won't read through the whole thing. And let me just make myself a note. I'll link this one. Link NY Post. You guys can go read it for yourself. Here we go. Show on stream. All right, here we go. No, thank you. Okay. All righty. Oh boy. Lots of ads. Lots of ads. Okay. So, oh gosh. Oh, hold on, guys. There we go. There we go. All righty. Is it the invasion of the genome snatchers? Just in case the idea of aliens walking around in human skin suits wasn't frightening enough, an outlandish, now they call it an outlandish study, right, that asserts that aliens might have abducted us and inserted genes into human DNA with the fallout affecting potentially millions of people. Humanity may be undergoing genetic transformation. Lead researcher, blah, blah, blah. We can move on. Rempel came to this far-fetched seeming conclusion by analyzing DNA from both regular people and those who have claimed to have been abducted by aliens. This comes following a spike in UFO sightings over the last year, making many fear that we are on the verge of some not-so-friendly close encounters. The scientists specifically analyzed 581 complete families from the 1,000 Genomes Project. By the way, I'd be careful sending your DNA to these people, just saying that. Discovering large sequences of DNA in 11 families. That's an interesting number that didn't appear to correspond to either family. The genetic aberrations entailed a bundle of 348 non-parental genetic variants. As the subjects were born before 1990, this ruled out gene editing tech like CRISPR, which we all know about, which only emerged in 2013. Rempel also analyzed 23andMe, again, another one to be careful with your sending to people. Results from individuals who self-identify as alien abductees, discovering that some families showed evidence of non-parental markers. Now, this goes on to talk about all the things here. And so I'm going to actually, because I don't want to read the whole thing, I'll let you guys go read it. It's a quick article, but you guys know we could read forever on things. Let me show you what I want to show you, because of course this came up, right? This happened. And that day, who jumped on this so fast? None other than L.A. Marzulli. He decided to go ahead and throw out a video the day that it happened, and I watched it, and he had Karen Wilkinson on. And if you know anything about Karen, her story and her book, where she does talk about being abducted and talks about the harvesting of eggs and all, it's crazy. So I do have a couple of little video clips for you guys that I want to play for y'all from L.A. show, and they're going to reference of, oh, sorry, hold on. Okay, gal. Hold on, I got to mute this ad. They're going to talk a little bit about this whole article because they actually read through it online. So let me show this to you guys because it's pretty fascinating. So let me grab that. Okay, here we go. Oh no, I just closed it out. Okay, hold on. I got click happy. My dad would say, "You're clicking too fast. You're clicking too fast." You're right, Dad. Okay, here we go. At some point, I would like to have all this queued up before I get online live, but I don't think the stream can handle it right now. So, okay. Show on stream. Here we go. Oh, noise.
And immediately all the New Agers and the ancient astronaut crowd are going to be going, see, we were seated here by an advanced race of extraterrestrials. Karen, your thoughts?
Well, anyone who knows me or knows my work knows that I do not believe we were seated here by extraterrestrials.
Amen, Karen. We were not. That is correct.
What I do believe is that we're being manipulated by them and our DNA. They're an attempt to manipulate our DNA to create chimeric beings to create hybrid beings. And this is something that's been going on. Go back to Genesis 3:15, go back to Genesis 6. You will see this throughout your Holy Bible. It is in
Right.
there all through God's word, and it
Preach, Karen.
warns us of these things. And it warns us again, as in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the time of his return. Well, that's what we're seeing. These are the things they did then. And these reports are just verifying the things
Mhm.
that we have been trying to shout from the rooftops.
Mhm.
They are trying to manipulate the human genome. They are trying to manipulate, they being the fallen ones, the fallen angels of the Bible, our DNA. And this proves that. But you're right. Those who don't have the fundamental belief systems that we have and believe in Jesus as our Lord and Savior, they are going to look at this and say, oh, we're seated. We're all star children. I actually saw related articles saying, oh, we are star children. Oh, look, here's proof. It's already happening. And that's unfortunate because it's going to lead people away from the truth. And it's really, really unfortunate.
And, it'd be one thing if, and there's a lot of, I'm saying this with, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not trying to disparage anybody. Okay. There's a lot of Johnny come latelys on the scene, in the Christian, what's the word I'm looking for? Ethos. That's always a good word. And I get that. And I'm, I applaud them. I'm glad they're here. Some of us have been doing this literally for decades, warning about this. This is the coming great deception.
So, first of all, big shout out to LA, because immediately when I saw this article, because I think I saw it on, I don't know, I think I saw it in a thread is how I saw it. And then I was like, man, LA has to be frustrated. Like, he just has to be, because he's been doing this for so long. Hey, what's up, Black Swan Revelation? Thanks for being on here. He has to be, because he has been ostracized and ridiculed and all these things for actually talking about the truth for so long. So I was really excited to see LA tackle this, and it was really awesome. So I have one more portion of this video that I want to show you guys, and it's pretty powerful. So let me show you guys this. I love how LA. Oh, sorry. Let me mute that. I love how LA speaks too, how he's just like, he doesn't ever want to disparage anybody. He's so kind. I would be just railing. But anyway, I digress. Okay, hold on. Let me hit the share again. Oh my gosh, Black Swan, thank you so much. I appreciate that, dude. I really do. So very much. Thank you. All right. I didn't mean to yell in the microphone. Sorry. I warned you guys I had an energy drink. So there we go. Okay. All right, so y'all check us out. I'm going to speed it up just a smidge. I know you guys are got to be getting used to me talking fast. So you can probably get used to somebody talking less fast than me, but a little faster. All right, so here's this part about Karen I want you guys to see. Here we go. Oh, you need sound. Sorry.
See who he was looking at and what data sets they were using. And based on that,
let me tee that up. So there was a part in this article where they talked about the study that was done and the data sets, and that's what she's talking about. She really wanted to hone in on this data set because of how the article was saying it's, could be bogus or all this. But anyway, so listen to what she has to say about it.
There were 581 sets. These sets, it says parents and children, but these aren't youthful children. These are adult children, adult parents and their adult children. So they had full sets of DNA of both adults and both of the adults' parents to check against. So these adults could possibly have had children of their own too. But what I found interesting, two things. First of all, the totals from just this random sampling of data that he used, the DNA, showed that 1.2% of the population were possible hybrids and 0.7% were definite hybrids, which means enough DNA in their genome to not necessarily be human.
Did you just catch what she said? Y'all have to go back and rewind that. I'm not going to do it for you, but dang. Okay. Got a little bit further to go here.
And I'm not saying those of us who might have some different DNA into our genome are non-human. Please don't get that wrong. I've gone over this before in articles and in talks, that it doesn't make you non-human if you've been exposed to this. God has you covered always in all ways. But there is something that happens, and they don't talk about this in any of the articles or in here. And I will be writing about this for the newsletter because I think it's important, and I'll cover this in much greater detail next month. But when a woman has a child, there is a certain amount of material that is shared between the mother and the child, that fetus. And this is called fetal maternal microchimerism. And chimera is a word some of you might be familiar with. It is the mixing of two species. So when a mother is pregnant, some of that DNA passes through into the mother's system. And so a mother will carry that DNA with her for the rest of her life. When they say a child is always with the mother, literally God imprints that DNA into the mother forever. That to me is amazing. It's why mothers have a bond that is just so hard to understand, and children have a bond to parents that's so hard to understand. It's beyond anything we can fathom because God made us that way. And that is wonderful. But one of the things that happens when those of us who were taken and had fetuses that were half human, half non-human alien entity implanted back into us and then taken against our will and had those fetuses taken out, there exists a possibility.
Okay, so I know that sounds nuts, right? But if you've been around this world for very long, this is what is going on. This has happened to her, and it's all in her Stolen Seed, Evil Harvest book. And then LA has had her on multiple times. I'm pretty sure she was even at Prophecy Watchers this last weekend with LA when they were all in Oklahoma. So anyway, I know that if you're hearing this for the first time, just set aside what you think might be sounding crazy and just ask yourself, could it be true? Right? We live in a very supernatural world. So I'm gonna let her finish up what she's saying. And we got a couple more things to go over.
That DNA, that alien DNA, transferred across the placenta as well out of the fetus and into our systems. And that, I believe, is where this DNA is coming from. And this is proof that the things I write about, the things I talk about, the things so many other people talk about and have experienced are real and are true. This proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. That DNA is in us because we were exposed to chimeric fetuses, to fetuses that are not human, to fetuses that are hybrid, that are not human, but a hybrid of fallen angelic DNA and human DNA. This goes back to Genesis 3:15. This goes back to Genesis 6. This goes back through all of the biblical text. And right here, now we have the technology to prove that we are telling the truth. And for me, this is huge. Will it go anywhere? Probably not. But for me, it's huge.
So anyway, I had to share that with you guys because she really did such a great job of just kind of recapping where all this has come from and why they specifically in that her ministry and then tying into LA's ministry, why they spent so much time on it. It's just, it's incredible. And Keegan, yes, you said it. Karen is amazing. I wish Keegan, I think she was there when we were in Branson in December. I wish we would have gotten to meet her. I know we met Vicky Joy, but I don't remember if Karen was there or not. I feel like she was for something and there was so much going on. We didn't get to do it, but any hoodles. Okay. Let me got a couple more articles for you guys. Okay, so I have to show you this. This was a post. So it tied right in, right? Days of Noah. This was a post from Paris Fashion Week, right? And let me pull this up. My girl Mary had posted this in her Telegram channel. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to show them this since we're talking about Days of Noah. Hold on here. Okay. Y'all ready? Here we go. Let me hit the share button here. Look at this. Look at this. This is just laughable. And y'all see I put this face here, just hilarious. So American fashion designer Thom, we're gonna call him Thom. That sounds better. Thom Brown launches a bizarre extraterrestrial range at Paris Fashion Week. Yes, this is a real story and not AI. Look at these photos, y'all. I was like, what is this? Fashion is getting so bizarre, but notice what it is. It's now I realize it's green, but this is that gray alien that they're showing, the one that Aleister Crowley, when he drew his first, interaction with the demon, that's what he drew. And that I don't even know what that is anyway. I found that very comedic, given what we're talking about here. That just cracked me up. I don't even know why they would even want to wear that. I would be like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to bow out of this fashion show. I'm not doing that. Okay. And then the final, and by the way, I think they're giving a nod to all the stuff, but anyway, I digress. Okay. The final Days of Noah item that I have here is one more post that went into the Certainty Remnant Underground last week. And this was from my girl, Jean, who I read her article last week when we were talking about I can say it when I'm not online, ecumenism. There we go. When I was referring to her article about Christian nationalism. So anyway, this is from her. She shared this inside of the Remnant Underground. So let me show this to you guys. One more. Boy. And her title of this was, this is some Days of Noah stuff, guys, or y'all, or however she said it. Okay, here we go. If y'all haven't seen this yet, whoa, right? Here we go. Scientists make embryos from human skin DNA for the first time. I said, what? Okay, so U.S. scientists have, for the first time, this was on September 30th, made early stage human embryos by manipulating DNA taken from people's skin cells and then fertilizing it with sperm. The technique could overcome infertility, and that's how they're going to sell it, y'all. Mark my words. To old age, infertility due to old age or disease by using almost any cell in the body as the starting point for life. It could even allow same-sex couples to have a genetically related child. The method requires significant refinement, which could take a decade before a fertility clinic could even consider using it. Experts said it was an impressive breakthrough, but there needed to be an open discussion with the public about what science was making possible. Reproduction used to be a simple story of man's sperm meets woman's egg. I'm pretty sure it's still a simple story. Man needs to quit playing God, but I digress. Those fused to make an embryo, and 9 months later, hello, baby. Now scientists are changing the rules. Yes, they are. Why? Because they're trying to become God and be gods and all the things. The latest experiment starts with human skin. Can you guys believe that? Human skin? Wow. Yeah. So I'll link that article to you. You guys might want to go read that. Link embryo. All right. Okay. Let me grab some questions. Let me see if there's anything in the chat I've missed. Let's see here. Okay. Questions. We got one question today from Janet. Janet, this is a good one. I'm glad that you asked this. If you need a digital ID to work and travel and do banking, should you refuse this as Christians? Well, so Lance and I were having this conversation in our house the other day. Now, we work from home, right? I mean, I have a part-time gig at the old, Tejas Roadhouse right now, but that won't be a forever thing. One of the reasons we are entrepreneurs is because we make our own rules, right? I'm not going to be subject to anything. And honestly, had I been working in the public at the time that COVID 2020 happened, I probably would have gotten let go from my job. Lance and I had before 20, so we had a personal training studio that was a private studio here in Missouri before we moved to Florida. And we sold that studio, and then we ended up moving to Florida for 4 years. So in saying that, had we been owners of that studio in 2020, guaranteed Lance and I would have had major problems with the local government. We would not have shut down. We would not have made people wear masks. We would not have done any of that. There is no way somebody would have encroached upon our ability to make a living and support ourselves and our family, right? So we were having this discussion the other day, and our motto has always been to resist something as long as we can. And we will. My hope, truly, you guys, and I don't have an answer for this. The Bible is simply not clear. I say it all the time, but we do not know how much of the Antichrist beast infrastructure system we're going to see set up on this side of the church age pre-rapture. But let me tell you what we will do. We will resist it as much as we possibly can until there is no way to resist it anymore. And so, because the bottom line is, guys, is that even with all of this stuff, I know it's scary. I know it's all the things. But how do I want to say that? They're not going to inject me with anything. Okay. They're not going to put anything in my skin. None of that. So I'm just talking about that, some of the stuff coming down the pike, like the UK, right? For instance, Pastor Gary, what is he supposed to do? He's got other places in Europe that he's doing ministry at. He has no choice but to do the fingerprint and all that stuff. So in that regard, we're going to resist it until we can't. One of the things we've resisted here in Missouri, whenever we came back to Missouri in 2020, the Real ID was kind of just, all the rage, right? And by 2025, I think it was even May, you had to have a Real ID to be able to fly anymore, or you have to have a passport. Well, Lance and I didn't get the Real ID. We absolutely opted out of that. So my point is, long-windedly, and I apologize that it's long-winded, Janet, but we're going to resist this whole thing as long as we possibly can. Now, my hope, and I'll circle back to what I was going to say 3 minutes ago. My hope is that the rapture of the church is a lot sooner. That is my hope. And that we don't have to come down and make hard decisions. I know that Dr. J.B. Hickson, y'all know I talk about him a lot in his book. I think it's Spirit of the False Prophet. I think it's that one. I think that's the one that he has at the end of it. I could go get it, but he has it's like a list of things that you can do to kind of set up to be sustainable and self-sufficient. And I know he's got that on his website. Crap, I'll link that too. JB. Okay. So I'm going to have links for you guys down in the description box today that were regardless to the show, or regarding the show, the things that we talked about. But anyway, the point is that I think we can do as much as we possibly can. And everyone is going to have that look differently for where you're at in life, how much money you have, how much you can put back, all those types of things. But in saying that, I think, the short answer is that we need to resist as much as we can. And, for me, with COVID 2020 that happened, I will tell you this much. I'm so glad I wasn't in the public, because had I been told like, oh, hey, you got to get this or you can't keep your job, I would have been like, deuces, I'm out of here. So when it comes to things like that, especially with all of that technology and stuff that's going on. Shoot, there's even information coming out about, and I won't get off on a tangent, but like Ozempic and all of that has been all the rage here in the US. I don't know where that is at in other countries, but all that stuff has gene editing technology in it too. And I know a lot of people got on that stuff because they wanted to, lose weight, quick fix, and still not have to change any habits. So in saying that, all these types of things are happening. So all that to say, I think that you got to pray, right? Seek the Lord, and then he'll inform you on what, or he'll help you to decide on what you're going to do. He'll give you that nudge and that push and that pull, and then you inform other people and you don't back down on whatever that is that the Lord told you to do. So anyway, I hope that answers the question. Let's see if there's anything else here that you guys had. Keegan, I refuse to fly with what they're doing, which is a win for them anyway, since they don't want people to travel long distances. Yeah, so we're in the same boat, sis. Like, that's my thing too. Like, there's so many places I would like to visit, but the chances of me getting on a plane are slim to none. Like, I really just don't. If I can't drive to get there, I don't know. I don't even want to be subject to all of it. And I've honestly had a hard time flying since all the 2020 stuff anyway. I was just beyond upset and aggravated at everything. So yeah. And then Hammer Time. Well, I got to show this because this is an amen moment right here. We will not allow ourselves to be genetically modified. Amen. That's really the big thing for me. Like, some of this stuff we may have no choice at some point. Again, I pray it's not the case, but we just don't know how much of the system we're going to see. But when it comes to genetic modifications, I will not. Like, I'm sorry, that's the take me out point. Like, that's where I'm at. So, Panther gal, I'm going to get some stuff on this. Looks like the Mothership Atlas is incoming. Better buckle up, folks. Yes, there is so much being talked about the mothership and the alien invasion that's coming in November. I have stuff set aside for that. We'll get to it as it gets closer. Who knows? Maybe it's our departure time. Maybe it's coming up. So anyway, I think that's all for me today, you guys. I really enjoyed this. I hope you guys are liking these prophecy pulses. They're really fun to just kind of go live with you guys on just, the headlines, the crazy, and to at least make light of some of it and have the serious conversations we need to. So up on deck for next week, like I mentioned, Pastor Gary will be talking about Halloween. Don't miss that. After I hang up here with you guys, I'm literally pre-recording a whole bunch of stuff. I've got my last and final video of John Darby and killing all the conspiracies around why, John Darby apparently is this bad guy, and C.I. Schofield. So y'all stay tuned for that. And then the other 2 videos that I have coming out, I get this question all the time. And I thought, why don't I just do 10 reasons on this? Lauren, how do you really know we're living in the end times? It's such a phenomenal, brilliant question that I get asked. So I thought I would do a 2-part series, 5 reasons in one and 5 reasons in another on why I believe firmly that we are living in the last of the last days. So you guys can stay tuned for those. Those will be all pre-records. And I think that is everything. So with that, keep your eyes on the sky and keep your ear listening for that shofar. I'll see you guys in the next one. Maranatha, guys. Bye.
Thank you.